A few years ago, I was a member of a gym with weightlifting classes led by coaches. My favorite coach had a catchphrase that he said right before we started lifting: get yourself organized. Then he would lead us through the proper positioning of the parts of our bodies so they were ready to do the heavy lifting. Taking those steps always put me in the proper mindset for the task at hand. Think of taking the time to get the formatting right before you start to write your essays as a similar process. By putting the parts in their proper positions, you prepare for the heavy lifting of writing your essay. And I would argue you can put yourself in the proper mindset for the task at hand. So, to paraphrase my old coach, let's get ourselves organized. Do that, let's take a top to bottom approach. That is, let's start at the top of this page, which is the first page of a new document I've created in Microsoft Word, and work our way down toward the bottom. So, in order, I'm going to show you how to set up your margins, your header, your heading, your title, your paragraph indentation, your line spacing, and your font and its size. Starting at the top. First, your margins. All the margins of the pages in your essays for English 100, top and bottom, left and right, should be set at 1 inch. To make sure that I have the correct margins, I would first click on the tab labeled Layout. Then, all the way over in the left on the drop-down menu, I would select Margins. Here, I would simply make sure that the normal option is selected, which means my top, bottom, left, and right margins are all set to 1 inch. Second, your header. So, right under that 1 inch top margin on all the pages of your essay should be a header. Your header should be placed in the upper right hand corner, and it should contain two pieces of information: your last name and the page number. To set up my header, I would first click on the tab labeled Insert. Then I would move my cursor over toward the right of the drop down menu where I can select page number. Next, I would select the option for top of page. Next, I would select the option for plain number 3, because that is the one that is aligned to the right margin of the page. Then I would click next to the page number, type in my last name, and insert one space in between my last name and the page number. After that, I would click first on header and footer, and then close header and footer. Third, your heading. On the first page only, you should type a heading that includes the following information: your name, your professor's name, the course number, and the due date of the essay. Because that heading only appears on the first page of your essay, you simply need to type it starting on the first line. So first I would type my name. Second, I would type my professor's name. Third, I would type the course number. And fourth, I would type the due date of the essay. The elements of the date should be in this order: first, the day; second, the month; and third, the year. There should be no comma in the date. Fourth, your title. All your essays need actual creative titles. And no, essay one is not a title. Research paper is not a title. For some reason, some students tend to get more creative with the formatting of their title than with the words in it. In terms of the formatting of titles, though, there are only two things to remember. First, your title should be centered. To do that, I'm going to click on the tab labeled Home. Then in the paragraph area of that dropdown, I'm going to click on this button to center my title. And second, all the significant terms in your title should be capitalized, which suggests the question, what is an insignificant term? Mostly an article or a preposition that is not the first word in the title. So I'm going to type a title here and capitalize only the significant terms in it. And that's it. Your title should not also be bold-faced, italicized, or underlined. That's the creative formatting in titles I was referring to before. Fifth, your paragraph indentation. All the paragraphs in your essay should be indented. To indent my paragraph, I simply press the Tab button on the keyboard of my computer. um, which you couldn't see me doing in this video, but trust me, that's all I did. Just took me a while to do it for some reason. Now, let me take a minute to type a sample sentence so it's easier to see what I mean when I talk about these last elements of formatting your essays. And I want that sample sentence to be long enough to reach a second line in this first paragraph of my essay. Sixth, your line spacing. All the lines in your essay should be double spaced. So to double space my lines, I would first select them. Then I would click on the tab labeled layout. Next, at the bottom of this paragraph area, I would click on this little arrow in the lower right. In this new menu box under the heading of line spacing, I'm going to select double. And while I'm here, in the field labeled after, I am also going to select 0 point. That's because there should be no extra spaces, so 0 after each paragraph. Seventh, and I guess eighth, your font and its size. All of your essays for English 100 should be typed in 12-point font, preferably Times New Roman. And this is another area of formatting where students sometimes become a little too creative. So, as an aside, if you've written an essay that was too short and you thought, maybe if I increase the font size, my teacher won't notice, or if you've ever written an essay that was too long and you thought, maybe if I decrease the font size, my teacher won't notice, let me assure you, yes, we will notice. So to set my font to the correct, not the creative, but the correct size, I would press two buttons on the keyboard, Control and A. That would select all the text in my essay. The A here stands for all. Then I would click on the tab labeled Home. After that, in the font area, I would use this drop down to select Times New Roman. And then in the box next to that, I would set the size to the number 12. And now we've gotten ourselves organized. We've formatted our essay so we can start the heavy lifting